January 2024, thwarted coup attempt. This incident was another in a series of coup attempts, but it specifically targeted Traoré's life with an intended explosion at the presidential residence. The plot was intercepted before execution, thanks to intelligence gathered by Burkina Faso's security services. This attempt, like others, was not just about removing Traoré from power, but potentially destabilizing the entire country by creating chaos. The connection to Damiba's family again points to a faction within the military, or political circles with lingering loyalty, or grievances from the previous regime changes. Security and political implications. These attempted coups and assassinations reflect deep political divisions and the challenges Traoré faces in consolidating power amidst an insurgency, economic issues and international relations shifts. His government has been vocal about rooting out corruption and external influences, which might have antagonized internal and external enemies.
Hey guys, as you're watching this video, our vision is to reach 500,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button, join membership to support our channel, join Patreon and PayPal. All the links are in the description. Do that to stand with us for this beautiful cause of One Africa right now. We do not forget to sign up for the petition. The link is down below. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
In 2025, reports emerged that Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Burkina Faso, survived an assassination attempt. This incident follows a series of previous attempts on his life since he assumed power in a coup in September 2022, according to various sources, including media reports and social media posts. The security situation in Burkina Faso has been volatile, with multiple coup and assassination attempts aimed at Traoré's leadership. These attempts have been attributed to internal political dissent and external influences, with some reports suggesting connections to former regime elements or foreign entities. The ongoing crisis in Burkina Faso is characterized by political instability, exacerbated by jihadist insurgencies and internal military dissent. Traoré's government has faced significant challenges in addressing these issues, with some sources indicating that his survival of assassination attempts underscores the precarious security landscape he navigates. The international community has expressed concern, with organizations like the African Union and the United Nations calling for dialogue to address the country's complex political and security challenges. The situation reflects the broader instability in the Sahel region, where Burkina Faso, along with Mali and Niger, has seen a rise in military-led governments and insurgent activities. Traoré's leadership has been marked by efforts to assert national sovereignty, reduce Western influence, and seek new alliances, notably with Russia, which has added another layer to the geopolitical dynamics of the region. While specific details on the method of the assassination attempt in January 2025 are sparse Traoré public reports, it's known that Traoré survived the attempt without injury. This incident followed a pattern of threats against his life, with security measures around the president being significantly ramped up as a result of these constant threats. Social media and some news reports have cited this attempt as potentially the 18th since Traoré took power in 2022. However, the exact number can vary as some sources might combine coup attempts with assassination attempts or count related incidents differently. Security measures and responses. Following this attempt, security around Traoré was likely further intensified. Previous reports from 2024 indicate that after assassination attempts, Traoré's security had already been significantly bolstered, including the arrest of several individuals linked to previous plots. This includes military personnel and civilians suspected of plotting against the government. Political and security context. The instability in Burkina Faso has been exacerbated by a jihadist insurgency, internal military dissent, and the broader geopolitical shifts in the Sahel region. Traoré's administration has moved away from traditional Western allies, particularly France, and has sought closer ties with Russia, which has led to speculation about foreign involvement in these attempts. The government has accused various parties, including remnants of the previous regime and foreign-backed elements, of trying to destabilize the new leadership. Public and international reaction. On platforms like X, there is a range of reactions from support for Traoré's nationalist policies to concerns about the country's stability and the safety of its leadership. Some posts suggest that these attempts are part of a broader strategy by external forces to influence or destabilize Burkina Faso's government. October 2024 attempt. This attempt was reported as the 18th since Traoré took office, highlighting the ongoing threats to his leadership. The plot involved a bombing at the presidential residence in Ouagadougou. The attempt was thwarted by security forces' prompt response, preventing any harm to Traoré, but potentially causing minor injuries or damages not specified in reports. This incident underscores the persistent security challenges within the country's capital and the constant threat against the president's life. January 2024 attempt during Africa Cup of Nations. This plot was particularly audacious, aiming to exploit the distraction of a major international sports event. The conspiracy involved detonating a bomb at Traoré's residence during the Africa Cup of Nations match, which could have not only targeted the president, but also caused a significant national and international incident due to its timing. Burkina Faso's intelligence services intercepted communications related to the plot, leading to arrests. The involvement of Damiba's uncle was noted, suggesting internal political feuds continuing from the previous coup dynamics. This event was significant for showing the lengths to which adversaries would go, leveraging national pride events for political violence. January 2024 thwarted coup attempt. This incident was another in a series of coup attempts, but it specifically targeted Traoré's life with an intended explosion at the presidential residence. The plot was intercepted before execution, thanks to intelligence gathered by Burkina Faso's security services. This attempt, like others, was not just about removing Traoré from power, but potentially destabilizing the entire country by creating chaos. The connection to Damiba's family again points to a faction within the military, or political circles with lingering loyalty, or grievances from the previous regime changes. Security and political implications. These attempted coups and assassinations reflect deep political divisions and the challenges Traoré faces in consolidating power amidst an insurgency, economic issues and international relations shifts. His government has been vocal about rooting out corruption and external influences, which might have antagonized internal and external enemies. The repeated foiling of these plots shows a relatively effective, albeit stretched, security apparatus. However, it also highlights the continuous threat to stability and the personal safety of Traoré, necessitating ongoing vigilance and international attention to Burkina Faso's situation. Another attempted coup has been prevented in Burkina Faso, in which an assassination attempt on Burkinabe leader Ibrahim Traoré was thwarted. The Cactus media outlet reported. According to the media source, the uncle of the former interim Burkinabe president, Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, who himself had led a coup in 2022, was behind the assassination attempt. The plotters planned to stage an explosion inside the presidential residence, Cactus said. In September, 4 military officers were detained in Burkina Faso on suspicion of organizing and taking part in an attempted coup, an assassination attempt targeting Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré was thwarted, sending shockwaves across the nation and the international community. The plot involved plans to detonate an explosive device within the presidential residence. Reports indicate that the conspiracy was orchestrated by the uncle of former interim President Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, who himself led a coup in 2022. The swift action of security forces prevented the attack, ensuring President Traoré's safety. Also, in September 2022, a group of military officers led by Traoré carried out a coup in Burkina Faso's capital, Ouagadougou, ousting Damiba as interim president of the landlocked West African country. The military officers who seized power also announced the dissolution of the government and the suspension of the constitution and all political activity. On October 2nd, Damiba, who himself came to power in January 2022 following a coup, signed a document tendering his voluntary resignation as president. On October 14, 2022, Burkina Faso's Unicameral National Assembly voted unanimously to appoint Traoré as interim president. This incident underscores the ongoing political instability in Burkina Faso, which has experienced multiple coup attempts in recent years. In response to previous unrest, President Traoré's administration passed an amnesty law in December 2024, pardoning soldiers accused of a failed 2015 coup. Analysts have expressed concerns that such measures might embolden future coup attempts, given the nation's history of military interventions in politics. In late December, Burkina Faso passed a law granting amnesty to soldiers accused of a failed 2015 military coup against then-President Michel Kafando. The country's current military dictator, Ibrahim Traoré, who is widely understood to be behind the amnesty, has himself faced several alleged coup attempts from within the military since he took power more than 2 years ago, according to state media. Beverly Ochieng, with the Washington-based Center for Strategic and International Studies Africa program, says the move could set a precedent for anyone wishing to oust Traoré. It's true, Traoré's decision is risky and it might set a double standard, especially considering the fact that he himself came to power through a military coup, said Ochieng. Even if it doesn't reduce the risk of further coup attempts or undermining of legal processes, he's still able to save face and then sustain a semblance of popularity and unity. But why has Traoré made a move that could encourage further coup attempts? Political scientist Geoffroy Julien Coao suggests a strategic rationale behind the amnesty. He says the experience of the pardoned coup plotters could be an asset in the country's fight against militant groups linked to Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. He says their military and diplomatic expertise could be useful to the current government in their fight against terrorism. Personalities like General Gilbert, Diendere and Jibril Basole have great military and diplomatic experience that Ibrahim Traoré wants to exploit. General Diendere was a prominent figure in the Burkinabe military, serving as the chief of staff of the armed forces. Basole, a former minister of foreign affairs, was also implicated in the coup attempt and was subsequently arrested and charged with treason. Ochieng suggests it could be a defensive move on the part of Traoré. She says the previous coup attempts against Traoré were likely due to tension with senior members of the military, which Traoré is seeking to calm by releasing their allies. Burkina Faso is still politically fragile under Traoré, she said. On the one hand, the numerous allegations of attempted coups against his government might be a means of playing up threats and also exerting more power. But they're also a reflection of sustained opposition towards his leadership. Burkina Faso has been battling a growing insurgency since 2015, with violence spreading across the country. The conflict has led to thousands of deaths, widespread displacement, and one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Data from the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project show terrorist violence has only gotten worse during Traoré's time in power. The government has reiterated its commitment to maintaining stability and addressing the security challenges posed by extremist groups in the region. The thwarted assassination attempt highlights the persistent threats faced by the leadership and the importance of vigilant security measures to safeguard the nation's progress. In June 2024, a rocket explosion near the presidential palace in Ouagadougou led to President Traoré's temporary evacuation, highlighting the growing unrest within the armed forces. The government downplayed the incident, but it fueled speculations about the regime's stability. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's regime faltering? Since the rocket explosion on Wednesday, June 12th, near the presidency located in downtown Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso, rumors of growing dissent within the army against the transitional president have persisted. In recent days, the junta's communication teams have worked to downplay the June 12th explosion, immediately described as a simple shooting incident by national television on its Facebook page. The projectile unfortunately landed within the national television compound, causing 2 minor injuries quickly treated by the Presidential Health Service. The state media emphasized, while just a few meters away, Captain Traoré was evacuated from the ongoing cabinet meeting held at the presidency. Following this, the Army Chief of Staff ordered a general alert of all detachments, according to an internal message leaked on social media. On May 17th, similar confusion reigned after an exchange of fire at the presidency, which state media also labeled as a shooting incident. Several security sources, however, mentioned a mutiny by soldiers. Once again, the authorities remained silent. For 48 hours, Captain Traoré did not appear in public, fueling rumors about his possible evacuation from the capital following a coup attempt. One hypothesis was that he had taken refuge at Camp Lumbila, about 20 kilometers from Ouagadougou, where Russian Wagner paramilitaries had established themselves. 2 days later, he appeared calm and smiling in a video broadcast on national television on Friday, June 14th. The video showed the junta leader donating blood at what was presented as the presidential palace on the occasion of World Blood Donor Day. Growing army revolt. However, on social media, some users questioned the authenticity of these images, as well as those posted the same day by pro-Russian black supremacist Kemi Siba on his X account, formerly Twitter, of his meeting with the junta leader. The captain's presence at the Tabaski, prayer on a field at the University of Ouagadougou, reported by several state media outlets with photos on Sunday, June 16th, was also questioned by several local sources. Some wonder if the authorities manipulated and published these photos to reassure Burkinabés. In Ouagadougou, sources who still dare to speak, always anonymously, about the country's political and security situation are dwindling as the junta tightens its authoritarian grip. Many fear threats, abductions, imprisonment, or being forcibly sent to the front lines, as has happened to dozens of critical voices in recent months. Several West African and European security sources working on Burkina Faso have confirmed to Le Monde Afrique the existence of growing discontent within the army against Captain Traoré. This frustration intensified after the jihadist attack on June 11 against the military camp in Mensila in the northeast of the country. Coup threats. At least 107 soldiers were killed in the large-scale assault, claimed by the Support Group for Islam and Muslims, GSM, affiliated with Al-Qaeda on Sunday, June 16th. The regime has yet to address the incident publicly. This lack of acknowledgement has angered some soldiers and has been fueling frustration that has been mounting for months. More and more soldiers oppose Ibrahim Traoré's military strategy and his determination to cling to power while they die in droves on the front lines, said a Western security source based in the Sahel. Ibrahim Traoré knows better than anyone that his mismanagement of the security situation could be his undoing. Poor security handling was one of the main reasons behind the ousting of the two previous heads of state elected, President Roch Marc Christian Kabore in January 2022 and Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba in September of the same year. Will the memory of these precedents be enough to deter coup attempts, especially as the junta claims to have foiled several since coming to power? Within the army, divisions are growing. In recent months, several Sahelian security and humanitarian sources have reported that Traoré's methods enforced disappearances of dissenting officers, nepotistic management of state apparatus, widespread abuses against civilians during counter-terrorism operations, and reliance on Russian paramilitaries are increasingly unpopular within the army. On Saturday, June 15th, and Sunday, June 16th, 3 successive landings of a Russian Ilyushin Il-76 aircraft from Gao, a city in northern Mali where Russian mercenaries are also deployed, added to the tense and uncertain atmosphere. According to flight tracking specialists who reported the rotations on social media, the same Ilyushin Il-76 had previously transported Wagner mercenaries in Africa, while a first group of about 100 Russian paramilitaries arrived in Ouagadougou in late January. Several international security and humanitarian sources now fear that the junta is seeking to reinforce its own protection against potential coup attempts from within its ranks. Further complicating the situation, Russian paramilitary groups such as the Bear Brigade were deployed to Burkina Faso in 2024 to support the junta. However, by August 2024, the Bear Brigade withdrew to address conflicts elsewhere, leaving questions about the regime's security arrangements. Russian paramilitaries from the Bear Brigade leave Burkina Faso. This group of around 100 men, who arrived in Ouagadougou in May, was responsible for protecting several key figures, likely including the junta's leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Their mission was short-lived. The men of the Bear Brigade, a private military company linked to the Russian Ministry of Defense, who came to Burkina Faso in May to support Captain Ibrahim Traoré's junta, are now packing up. This unit comprises around 100 men out of the 200, 300 Russian forces currently deployed in Burkina Faso. The official reason for their departure, just 3 months after their arrival, is to take part in the Russian defense effort against the offensive, launched by the Ukrainian army in the Kursk region on August 8 ounce 6, when contacted by Le Monde on August 22 via the encrypted messaging service Telegram. The commander of the Bear Brigade, Viktor Yermolayev, also known as Jedi, confirmed the withdrawal. When the enemy arrives on our Russian territory, all Russian soldiers forget internal problems and unite against a common enemy, he wrote.
This is the journey to one Africa.